water spout forms right next to his boat, and it kills him and 7 other people. And it does not harm anyone else. It's only his yacht. Other vessels do report them seeing the water spout and destroying. But it's pretty interesting. You get what you give. I think Mother Nature.
That's messy.
That's messy,
That's
but
just
crazy.
messy, crazy. I was not expecting him to die. We are doing this. Hello, gang. Welcome back to another lovely episode of Off Topic, where we give you real teen stories from real teen voices. And today, I have a very, very, very interesting sophomore with me today. Not only does she do art, and she's an amazing artist, but in the summertime, she loves scuba diving. And man, does she have a lot of fun scuba diving. Not only that, she's into marine science, so she's a STEM girly just like me. And so, why should we wait? I want to introduce you guys to my very special guest today, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well on this Wednesday.
Yes, it is a very, very nice Wednesday, especially that you are here. Rebecca, you are like the queen of the lore. You guys have to know. Whenever Rebecca comes by after a long weekend or a break, I'm like, all right, Rebecca, what happened now? Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
I mean, it feels like this is just normal crap that I do, you know, but I guess for other people, it's like, oh my God, that's so crazy.
Right, right. And, you know, I wouldn't call it crazy. I would call it just really interesting lore. And you do have very interesting lore with scuba diving.
Yeah,
right?
I do. So there was this one time on a surveying team of that where we went down with these measuring tapes. So you had one that you would plot it on a grid. So essentially you've got one coming down here on your y-axis and then one coming across on the x-axis.
Right.
And then you measure it, and later you use those meter points so every 2 feet you measure out where the blades are, where the body or the base of this helicopter was, and we'd go in onto Desmos and you could plug it in and you get to see this 3D outline of a helicopter.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Wow.
It was awesome.
That's really cool. And so did you go to this lake to do that and to also scuba dive?
Yeah, we did that while scuba diving.
Oh, wait, pause. You're underwater?
We're underwater,
Wow.
scuba diving.
While thinking the X and Y axis.
While making an X and Y axis of a helicopter.
Man, I mean, I can barely design like with air flowing through my lungs, and you're up here telling me that you're under the water with the scuba diving gear. Like, all right, now I need to calculate.
Yeah, so we had these two giant measuring tapes. You had the objective tape and the base tape. Objective, I believe, was your y-axis, and base was your x-axis.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That's cool. And so, like, how? I know this may sound like a silly question. I've never gone scuba diving before, so I don't really know the terminology too much. But like, you have an air tank.
Yeah,
right.
You do. It's on your back.
It's on your back, and so there's a certain amount of like air that can keep you going.
Yes. So each tank has it is expected to have at least 2,000 psi, which is pounds per square inch. So that should give you an adequate dive time. Most of them you would find will have 3,000 psi. So that should be, depending on how skilled of a diver you are, between 20 minutes or an hour. This one time though, when I did get on empty, yeah, luckily I was at only 2 feet of the surface.
Oh,
but this was at Lake Phoenix. This is like the dive right before I did the maritime graphing of the helicopter. What happened was I was with Miss Victoria. When I was 2 feet up above from the surface, I was out. So the progression of which you run out, it becomes harder and harder to breathe in the regulator. You always keep it in your mouth though.
Right.
Because you do not want to be swallowing seawater, and by having that, it acts as a plug, because if you swallow seawater, it can cause you to drown much quicker than if you keep your regulator in.
Oh my.
But I was at 2 feet, so it was pretty easy to get up to the surface, and I checked my gauge and it was at 0.
Oh my
so
God.
I had to orally inflate my BCD, which controls your buoyancy. So at the surface, I don't have to kick so hard. So I had to grab this, and I was like, okay, how do I inflate it again from training?
Oh my God. So you managed Because with me, I would have been struggling. Like, they would have been like, what's up with her? I was like, oh my God. And I know you were trained. And I know it was so much different. But, like, kudos to you for being so calm. And you're like, okay, remember my teachings. All right, I have to get buoyancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, get your buoyancy so that when you're on the surface, you're not sinking.
Right.
Because you will lose energy pretty quickly from trying to fight. So you have to just put air in your BCD and you'll float right up to the surface and you'll be fine.
Wow.
So I got out of that and I was like, okay guys, I was at 0.
But I made it.
I made it.
Oh my goodness.
I've never had to signal the out of air sign outside of training until then.
Oh wow. Wow. Well, Rebecca, I'm sure like now you're like, yes, this is what happened, but I'm sure in the moment.
Yeah. I was actually pretty chill.
You were pretty chill?
I was pretty chill because like, I did training.
Okay,
I did training like less than 6 months ago for that.
Okay.
So it was still very fresh.
Okay, good.
And I did like 12 dives like a month prior.
Okay.
So I was like, I had some experience under my belt, and I was like, okay, this is what you do.
All right, like,
stay calm.
All right,
That's the number one rule of scuba diving is always breathe continuously and stay calm.
Yeah, right. And I'm not trying to sound cheesy when saying this, but like that memo of like staying calm and just keep breathing, that's like such a great way to live through life too. I know that sounds so cheesy.
No, it is absolutely the best way to live.
But I agree with that. And I feel like that's your entire motto. Like whatever happens, you, Rebecca, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna breathe through it.
Yeah. Like it will pass. That's what you have to like keep telling yourself, like it'll pass.
Right.
And you know what? Once you have that mindset of it will pass, it will.
Wow. So you do art.
I do art, but I do have a little special thing with me.
Oh, you have a special guest for Off Topic?
I have a special guest item.
Yeah, I would love to see the special guest item.
So we like shoes, don't we?
We do like shoes. We do have very nice shoes on.
I built a shoe.
Oh my lord!
100% cardboard shoe. It also, I can stand in it if you would like. I can test that.
I would love to. Do you need some room? Oh my goodness. Okay.
So here we are. We are standing in this shoe.
The masterpiece that Rebecca has created.
We are branding of Swedish fish, and the best one is on the bottom.
That is beautiful. Wait, can I see that? Oh, can I touch?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Rebecca.
So
okay, now I need to ask more probing questions, because that's just the coolest thing ever. So the shoe there, it took you a month to make.
Yeah, I made it in art class. So.
What was the inspo for the Swedish fish? Like, how did you just wake up and you're like, Swedish fish, yes?
Well, we had to pick a candy of our choice.
Okay.
And it had to be a favorite candy.
Okay.
As you said earlier, I like marine science things.
Yes.
So I was like, how can I combine my marine science love with candy and with a shoe?
Why didn't I think about that sooner? That makes sense, because Swedish fish, marine science.
Yes.
Okay, that is so ingenious.
I have some fun memories. So I play softball, and
and you're in a sport too. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, girly.
So in the fall this year, I've brought in these giant bags of Swedish fish to games, and our team, we just will be snacking on them. We put them in our pockets, so we'll be out in the field and we'll be eating these Swedish fish underneath our fielding masks. It's amazing. So I have like these happy memories of softball with these Swedish fish, so like why would I not?
Oh, so it's like your two like really.
It's my two big things, the ocean and softball.
What inspired you to get into marine science or like the ocean? I know scuba diving may be one because I mean you're in it, so it's kind of like that's obvious.
Well, I've always really liked the ocean. I mean, ever since I was really little, I've loved the ocean, and I could say it was my grandmother who got me into the ocean, because she lived out on the eastern shore of Maryland, so we'd visit her in the summer, and I remember those weeks, that single week that I got to live with her on the water was like the best week ever. So she had a sailboat that we would go out on the water, and it was just amazing. One single week that I got to live with her on the water was like the best week ever. Because it was on the water, you had grandmother spoil you, so like you have root beer floats.
Ooh, yummy. Okay,
They're so good.
Oh, that sounds good. So because you want to go into marine science, are there any courses specifically that you take to prep for that?
Not.
Oh my goodness.
Field that in ornithology, which is a fun class. I had it today, and we went out along the woods looking for birds and looking at the trees, learning how to identify trees. We saw a vine of poison ivy that appeared to be dead, trying to circulate the tree.
Ooh.
And what it'll do is it'll cut off all of its nutrients.
So
these poison ivy on trees is terrible.
It is
so
terrible.
join invasive species removals, and that will help. At least in the Virginia area, they are not native.
Oh. Well, that sounds interesting. And it was pretty nice outside. So.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
Yeah, what a great day to go in the forest and look at trees that are going through stuff. And,
yeah, it was pretty muddy though.
It was pretty muddy. I can imagine it was in the forest too.
Yeah, it was muddy.
Yeah. So you said you want to be a marine scientist.
I do.
Okay, I know that's redundant, but what are the subdisciplines? If there are subdisciplines.
There's a lot. So you've got your marine biologists. I think that's the most famous one.
Yeah.
But within that, you have different forms of oceanography. So you have chemical oceanography, which is the chemical composition of seawater and everything surrounding that. You have biological oceanography. So that's basically your marine biology, similar and different. And then you have your physical oceanography, which is your temperature, your currents, the geological composition of the sea shelves and the continental slopes.
Okay.
So, which can further be broken down into geological oceanography.
Wow. And which one are you the most interested in?
Oh, that's hard. I mean,
you can have in between.
So far, I want to do either chemical oceanography or marine biology / biological oceanography.
Oh, nice. And why specifically those?
I like chemistry, and I'm pretty good at it, I'd say.
Good job. Congrats.
And
that's awesome.
I really like working with animals in the marine biology sector, and that's what got me into it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I love coral reefs. They're my favorite,
coral reefs
and
are beautiful.
I really want to be a coral scientist. So studying them and coral bleaching, stony coral tissue, lost disease, or skittled. I want to help protect the corals because they're
pretty
super important for
they are.
American economy with ecotourism and fish. So those are two important things.
They are two important things. And wow, it warms my heart. It warms my heart that I just grasp my mic. It just warms my heart that you have something that you love and you're passionate. I mean, and you just have this setup. You were walking me through. Yeah, here are the different subdisciplines. This, and that. You gotta tell, girl. And see, this is why I'm so glad you're here, Rebecca.
Yeah,
because you always have some lore. You come prepared. And on that note, towards the end of every off-topic episode, there is an extremely off-topic question. Anywhere in a fictional universe, where would it be?
Whoa, that's hard. That's really hard. Because you've got these fictional universes which are dystopians that are I really want to meet that character.
Yeah.
You know? Where it's could I be with that character? Could I not? Do I have a chance?
I mean, Rebecca, you're pretty cool. You kind of have a nice resume. I think you do have a chance.
Yeah, do you think I could pull?
I think you can pull, Rebecca. I think you do more than pull, girl. Come on now. That is not a question. You are pulling all of them. All of them.
I mean, places I want to, if I could be promised that I would not die in said fictional universe, I would think that visiting the Attack on Titan universe would be a lot of fun.
Yes. And you have, okay, who are you pulling in the Attack on Titan universe?
Think I could get Levi?
I think you could get Levi. I love that man.
God, no, I just want to I want to be friends with him, you know? The cast, they seem chill. Me making some southern fried food for Sasha, telling her about the wonderfulness of fried chicken.
Right? I mean, I think she would cry.
She would cry.
She would cry.
She would cry.
Wow.
And then I want to talk about marine biology with Armin. That would be awesome.
Armin would pass out. Wait, yeah.
I would tell him, hey, everyone, scuba diving before?
Yes, and if I lived there too, I would be besties with them.
Yeah,
Aaron.
I'm always intrigued by Levi. I think he would hate my music taste. I get the impression that he would, I think he would really hate my country music. From the softer country music to the more metal side of country music I don't think he would like that.
Right. I don't know. Levi always gave me like either he's a big fan of classical.
Oh, definitely.
Or I don't know.
Metalhead.
Or metalhead. I think like he has to be really angry to
definitely
be into
a metalhead.
metalhead.
Because the metalhead people are like the chillest people in existence.
Right? They can be like watch My Little Pony at night and they're like,
totally.
oh yeah.
Yeah. They'll be like screaming F-bombs and all this.
I hate everyone. I'm gonna kill my mom. I'm gonna kill my dad. Have you seen that meme? And the guy's like, I wanna kill my mom. And they're like, what are you talking about?
There's a funny spoof of I think it's a Korn song, Bodies to the Floor, except it's called Laundry to the Floor.
Oh my god, I love Bodies to the Floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Like, oh my god, I love that.
Yeah.
That was just
I don't know.
so sick. Oh my
Yes.
goodness, don't get me started. I'm kind of a metalhead. So like, don't get me. Oh my god. This makes it even better. Hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the body. Oh my god, look at us vibing. Look at STEM girlies, anime girlies. I mean, we're really just
We're all
connecting. We're all over the place. Well, it's off topic for a reason.
Yeah, no. Levi listening to Let the Laundry Hit the Floor.
You know, right, especially since he likes cleaning all the time, so that's perfect.
Yes.
Is it perfect? I think it would be.
I think it would work.
I think it would work. And lastly, do you believe in karma?
Oh, absolutely.
You didn't even let the question sit in the air.
Oh, no. Oh, well, have you ever heard the phrase, you get what you give?
I mean, yeah, no, Rebecca, I completely agree with you. I completely agree.
There's a funny story regarding karma and natural weather.
Do you want to tell your lore? You want to drop the lore?
So this one I heard on a YouTube video pretty recently. It was tornadoes. But it's not just any tornado. It was a water spout, which are tornadoes formed over water. This one was a non-mesocyclonic one, so it meant that it starts on the water and builds up. A mesocyclonic one starts in the air and goes down.
Yeah.
So it's just different.
Ooh.
But what happens is there's this tech billionaire
Yeah.
who was on his yacht with 23 people. He had just been doing some white-collar crimes, to say the least.
Yeah.
And the court ruled him not guilty.
Okay.
Apparently the water spout does not think that he is not guilty of these crimes, because what happens, the water spout forms right next to his boat, and it kills him and 7 other people. And it does not harm anyone else. It's only his yacht. Other vessels do report them seeing the water spout and destroying. But it's pretty interesting. You get what you give. I think Mother Nature.
That's messy.
That's messy,
That's
but
just
crazy.
messy, crazy. I was not expecting him to die. That threw me off guard. That was a Rebecca plot twist. That was definitely a Rebecca story plot twist.
Yeah, the water spout killed him.
That's karma. Wow.
That is karma.
That was a great way to answer that question. And this was my favorite episode of them. I will say that. Well, gang, that was Off Topic, episode 4 with Rebecca, your STEM girly, and that is, I'm throwing this.